Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and this is going to be a video actually about Destiny 2, but websites for Destiny 2. There are many external websites that people have built using the Destiny API to handle a lot of different things. Inventory management, collections of lore, looking into weapons and perks and things of that nature. You've also got a couple other ones that are just kind of fun stats and things of that nature. So overall, some very cool websites that you can use that can be beneficial to you. So hopefully you guys find these helpful. If you know of websites that I just smooth forgot, because I'm not going to claim to be the all-inclusive list, post those in the comments below. And if you guys want to see like a specific deep dive on a website, there may be a couple, specifically probably the first one, that you might want to see a little more understanding on. I'll be happy to do a separate video on that one, but I promise you there's a lot of information here, so hopefully you guys find some of these websites informational and helpful. So here we go. Alright Guardians, so the first website I want to talk about is Destiny Item Manager, and I honestly don't know if I can play this game without it. It is a must. Biggest thing is inventory management in lots of different ways. Mainly getting in stuff in and out of your vault, moving stuff to your vault, pulling stuff from your postmaster, all very helpful. If I'm in the middle of an activity and I want to move a weapon to my character, say there's this forward path I know I want to use, I'm going to go ahead and move store. Now sometimes if you click equip and you're in the middle of an activity, you won't be able to actually equip it because you might literally be in the middle of firing the weapon, but you can at least move it to your character. And then also the other thing is, if I've got too many things on a character, say I move this Dire Promise over to my character. Okay, so I'm full in spots, but I goofed. I actually wanted this Cold Denial. If I click store, it's going to move something that's not being used off of that character into the vault and then move over the one I'm looking for. So inventory management, very, very helpful. Second thing, also collecting your postmaster. If you have a full inventory like I do, pulling things from your postmaster, maybe you're going between just strike after strike after strike, and you're like, oh yeah, I got a couple good drops in there. You can actually, while you're waiting to load in or take a quick break, you can click up here and say, hey, I want to grab this Cold Denial or this Ikelos or whatever it is. I can say, hey, this is a decent roll. I've got this Ikelos hand cannon that dropped. Whatever it may be, I can literally store it on my character, or I can move it all the way to the vault. So if I move it to the vault, it's got to make space, and then it's just going to move it straight over to the vault, and I'm done. And I can do that while I'm playing typically as well. A couple other things it can do: check your maximum gear score, see which slots are low. Like for my Warlock, for example, if you check my gauntlets, they're 1051 versus everything else, which is close to 1055 or 1056. So if I can get some gauntlets, that's going to help my level on my character very quickly. It's not always easy to specifically go after a certain piece, but at least I know what I'm looking for. So if I get any gauntlets to drop right now, they're probably going to be helpful, especially as I'm headed towards that pinnacle max. So it's a nice way to check what you're missing. And they recently actually changed this to fractions, so it's like 1059 and 5/8. So I can see on my Titan, I'm literally missing a power weapon is 1058, so I need 2 boosts there, and I need a chest piece to get to 1060, and I'm done. So I know I'm -3, -2 from the power weapon, -1 on the chest, and I'm going to basically max out. Got your power level up here as well from your artifact. Another couple functions: maximize power. Maybe I'm not using the highest thing possible right now, but if I click this button, it's going to move the max thing into every spot possible. So it's probably going to switch the True Prophecy over to my hand cannon slot and move everything over, and it's going to basically give me the maximum power level that I possibly can. You can also collect things from your postmaster. This is just going to dump everything from your postmaster into your character. So if you don't have a vault issue, it's just going to constantly make space, pull everything from your postmaster, put it on your character. Another one is farming mode. Now farming mode is really helpful because you can actually make sure that you always have space. Basically, it's going to make sure every slot looks like this, that I have always one spot open. So as I walk over and pick items up, they can actually go directly into my inventory as opposed to have to go to my postmaster later. So if you are doing just a lot of farming, leveling up a character, just doing a whole bunch of gameplay, and you have the space in your vault, turn farming mode on. You'll always be picking stuff up, and your postmaster won't have this big collection of crap, and you won't be missing stuff that could have gone to your postmaster. Other things, major benefit here is going to be the fact that you can search. You can do is just about anything. Is it a void weapon? Everything highlighted is a void weapon. Is it a scout rifle? Yep. Is range greater than 100? Or greater than 50, say, for example. That one probably won't work, but there are definitely some stats. So range, there you go. Stat range greater than, say, 50. So I can see anything with stat range greater than 50. Do I have anything greater than 80? I have a couple. So you can actually go through, really specifically hunt for stuff by searches. And if you just click the little question mark up here, you're going to see all the different search terms that you can do. We've got sunsetting coming up. You can actually see shows item based on the last season they can reach the seasonal power cap. So you can actually look and see what's about to be sunset as well, which is going to be helpful for a lot of people when we get to Beyond Light in the fall. So Destiny Item Manager also has progress on quests, and you can check on vendors and things like that, which is helpful to see what, things like Spider is selling for currency exchange, or check Xur's inventory. But overall, the big one is inventory, so definitely check out Destiny Item Manager for inventory management. It's kind of a must for me. Second one is going to be braytech.org. Now, this one is really good for a lot of stuff, honestly. But the couple big ones that I want to point out here are going to be the triumphs for sure, because I know quite a few people are looking for triumph score help to figure out where they can get triumphs. What ones am I missing? This is the Moments of Triumph 2020 seal. I need to do the Leviathan raid. I probably just need to finish that one off. It's not that hard. I need to run 7 strikes. I need my trials victories. And then I got a couple secret ones down here that we don't know yet. But if I go back to triumphs, I can also check and see stuff that's almost complete. And as you're working on building your triumph score, this is stuff where you can actually just start knocking it out because you're almost done with it. Rumble. I need to steal 4 kills in Rumble, and I'm done with that one. I need to get 9 Guardians defeated as an invader. I'm done with that one. Black Talon Catalyst. I literally need 12 kills. So you can go through this and you can go to like the next 200. So there's a lot that you can look at, but you can see which ones am I almost done with. And that way you can actually check box on some triumphs and get your triumph score. Especially if you're working on, MMXX, you need your triumph score to be high enough. So triumphs completed. But some of these you actually need a triumph score to be high enough. So that's definitely something that will help you out with this as well. You can also see checklists, which is really helpful. Say, for example, I want to look at the cat statues on the Dreaming City. I need 6 of them still, so it's actually going to be really nice. And if I click on this, it's going to take me to their map section. It's going to take me to the Dreaming City, and it's going to show me that this cat is right here that I need to go pick up. Gives me a decent little picture, and just really, really helpful stuff that you can look at. So the maps, sorry, zooming in is a little crazy with the mouse button, but it's going to be able to take you to specific things. So your triumphs are very, very cool. So triumphs, checklists, maps are also fairly cool in here. Definitely some important stuff, but I would say triumphs and checklists are probably the biggest two, along with some of the map locations and things like that. But there's another website for maps that'll actually show you that's going to both work very well, so try either of them. So the next one is going to be Lowly Dev. Now this is like maps to the max. Now Braytech has some cool maps in it, and sometimes they'll actually, I swear these two websites work together, or at least they did at some point, I feel. Either way, what you're going to see here is I can go through and check everything I do and don't want to see. So if I come down here, I can turn off stuff that I don't care about. Like I don't care about what public events are where. I do want to see regional chests. I want to see some treasure chests. Maybe I want to do triumph scans, ghost scans, stuff like that. But say I do want to get the ghost fragments and the eggs. Now, I've done the eggs already, so if I hover over an egg, you can see I've discovered it before. But the cat statues, you can see the ones I don't have are glowing. Now, this one, I've actually got cat statue number 6. But this one right here in Ray Sylvia, I definitely do not. So, nice thing about this is you click on it, you can kind of highlight that one. You can see it's undiscovered. It's going to give you a little bit of an idea location-wise. And some of these specifically, if they have them, they actually have a YouTube video. Like the corrupted eggs, like that was definitely a big deal, so trying to get the eggs. Other ones are going to be kind of done by pictures or YouTube videos as well. So you click on that one, it's going to take you a YouTube video, typically a short and sweet one that's going to show you where it's located. And the nice thing is, if you are a completionist and you want to go through some of the destinations that we're going to be losing, for example, say Titan. Pick one example. You can see, are there ghost scannables that I need to pick up? Apparently there is. So I need to go to this location here. I can still look at a YouTube video if I want to, but I need to scan this little faction rally thing right here, and that's one of those ghost scannables that I just haven't done in the game. And a lot of things are going to be leaving, so if you want to go through and check every single box in the game, you can definitely do it. Another random thing, if you go to Tangled Shore, sometimes you need to specifically do like the public event, the Ether ritual. Well, it's actually going to show you what the icon looks like on the map and where it's located. So if I'm looking at the map in game and then I see that, hey, this the public event popped up and it's like this lowest one down here, I think that's going to be the Ether ritual. That way you don't have to drive over, wait for it to spawn. If there's a certain one you're looking for and you know they spawn in slightly different locations, you can actually really narrow it down and it's going to help you out. So overall, Basically, just really amazing maps here on lowly dev. Pretty freaking awesome overall. Definitely check this one out. If you're a completionist, I think you'll probably live on this site for a little while. Alright, so the next one we've got here is light.gg. I use this one a lot as well. It's cool to get some information about like new weapons in the game. We got a new exotic. You got some updates to prophecy rewards. This is going to be their managed area. But the biggest thing you'll notice is any weapon you search in here is going to show you a whole bunch of information. So we're going to take the Ikelos SMG, for example, but you can really search any weapon up here. Just search it up. But the big thing is it's going to show you full detail on perks and a lot of stuff that you can see about the weapon that you might not otherwise know, or it'll let you know kind of what you want to farm for. So the Ikelos SMG, scroll down here. You can see the in-game stats that we can see. Weapon stats, impact, range, stability, handling. You also see some hidden stats that only the game knows behind the scenes but doesn't really put on screen. Couple I wish they would. Aim assist is 42. That's kind of how magnetized it is to like headshots, so it's going to help you there. Recoil direction, also a hidden stat you can find in many places, but it's going to tell you that number very specifically. And you can tell the bounce direction of the recoil, it slightly tends to the left. So that's one of those things to know. Now, also down here, you're going to see what the curated role is, in case it comes from a specific activity, or if you actually do get the curated role, sometimes only certain perks can come on the curated. Doesn't seem to be the case on this weapon. You can also see the random rolls. Every perk that can roll in every slot. What barrels do we have? What magazines? Perk 3 and perk 4, you can see them all. Now, it may look like this, or you can also show recommendations. Now, recommendations are, I'm guessing, based on either community feedback, the website itself, just common voting, stuff like that. All in all, you can see what perks are going to be helpful for PvP will be in blue, or sorry, PvE, so against like activities, that will be blue. Red are going to be PvP, Crucible type focus stuff, and gold is just generally helpful across the board. So for PvP, for example, you can go tap the trigger, the open and shot being good, dynamic sway reduction, holding down the trigger being very accurate. Say you want range for PvP and range for PvP. Those are pretty specifically PvP roles. I don't care as much about range in, say, a strike, for example. I would probably much rather have stability or reload speed or something along those lines when it comes to PvE activities. But for PvP, the like range, accuracy, all that type of stuff is really crucial to make every bullet count. On the other side, you have these yellow ones, which are, as I said, the general kind of top dogs. So up here, tactical mag. Stability, magazine, and reload speed. Kind of a boost to a lot of things around the board. Little stability, a little bigger magazine, a little faster reload speed. Can't really go wrong. But if you're going for that true optimal PvP, you probably want to stick to the range or maybe these Seraph rounds as well. Over here, you've got Demolitionist. You can use that in anything across the game. Maybe you want more grenades in strikes or grenades in PvP. Still getting kills with Demolitionist is going to help you everywhere. Same with Vorpal. Super damage, grenade damage, while their super is active on Guardians. Lots of stuff you can get here. But again, maybe Surrounded is more of a PvE perk. So, differences in perks, differences of opinion. Nice thing about that, you can scroll down here. Click on, first it'll tell you where it comes from. This is coming from the CQC focused umbral or the Exodus focused umbral engram. And you also have reviews. Now everybody has an opinion, which is fine. You can see some of the top rated ones up here. But generally, you can see how do people feel about this weapon. This person loves it in PvE, but in PvP feels like it's trash. But this person down here, it's not a bad weapon. I don't buy people giving it low scores. And you can see what people think. Sometimes they'll give you builds that they like on it, and you can see the recent review. Like, these are all pretty recent because it's a recent weapon, but if you've had a reissued weapon, for example, you might get some very old reviews. Perks may have changed, so find a recent review and see what's good. PvE, Subsistence, and Demolitionist, or Surrounded, along with Warmind cells, makes this a very viable primary weapon for future content once others are sunset. So again, kind of take some of every piece of these with a grain of salt, but you can put together what you think about the weapon, what perks you're going for, and if it's even worth holding on to for very long, and if it's worth grinding for. So all in all, pretty lots of beneficial information here at light.gg. Just a nice collection of information to really understand weapons, see what's good, and see what perks, people tend to think are good on said weapon. The next website is going to be D2Gunsmith. Now this one is really cool to basically toy around with any weapon, see how things are going to work with that weapon, see how perks affect different things, and what a final build on a weapon is actually going to look like. So let's take that Ikelos, for example. I can go Ikelos. I could scroll through here and find it. I can also go weapon type submachine gun. Okay, you want the Season of Arrivals version, so make sure you pick like the one with the right icon next to it. Here we go. So we've got the Ikelos SMG. Now, what I can do is I can actually look and see. So this is the curated roll, is going to be the orange highlighted one. We knew that from the previous page. But the other piece is, what we can look at is how do things affect stats, which is a really nice way to use this website to figure out what stats affect what. You can see the recoil direction is 90, which is already pretty damn good. It's almost vertical anyway. But I can also see counterbalance is going to add 10. Well, counterbalance typically always adds 15 in the first place, so that mod itself may not be that useful. Now, you can also see arrowhead break adds 10, but if I show you guys another gun, for example, this is probably better, because you're going to see that it's actually going to be something you might consider different. So this is probably going to be better to look at because you can see a bit lower stats, nothing's too much off the board. So Gnawing Hunger, for example, has a recoil direction of 54. But if I get Arrowhead Break, now you can see that Arrowhead Break actually does add 30 in recoil direction, brings it up to 84, which is really huge. Also has 9 handling. And you can see the live stat update. So if I get this one and this one, so I've got 9 to range, I've got 9 handling and recoil direction, and this may depend on console or PC. If you're playing on console or controller, you may care about stability a lot more because some things kick like a mule on console or controller versus mouse and keyboard on PC. Things are very stable, so range may benefit you more. So you can build these things the way you like. So again, recoil direction being very vertical, and if you get 84, you actually get an idea of what that's going to be doing. We've also got, say you want just bigger magazine size, and it says magazine plus 5. That's going to tell you how many bullets, not magazine plus 20%, and you don't know how many are going to be in the magazine. I get plus 5. If I come down here to extended mag, I know I get plus 8, so I get more bullets, but I do lose reload speed as well. So it's really nice to come in here and see what's going to happen. Now again, the curated roll is as follows: Rampage, Overflow, and you can only get Overflow from the curated on this one, which is where light.gg can be beneficial, because if you see the random roll perks and Overflow's not in there, you're like, well crap, where's this one only comes in the curated, so there are some benefits to curated. They're not all that way. But for me, I have one, I did a video about this, I have a Subsistence Rampage. I think I have maybe Tactical Mag on it, I can't quite remember specifically. And I've also got Small Bore, which is adding stability and range. So a little stability, little range, little reload speed, slightly bigger magazine, recoil direction. For me, it feels okay. But for example, say you got Arrowhead Break on here instead, maybe that's what you would prefer more, because on controller it's a little harder to, you know, keep it in check. But for me on mouse and keyboard, Small Bore works well. And I have both of these, I think, on my weapon, and I can choose back and forth and see what really changes between these two. So it's a nice way to toy around and also see, hey, is counterbalance stock going to do anything? Well, it's going to give me 15, but it's going to take it up to 99. But if I have Arrowhead Break on, I'm already pretty decent on the recoil direction. It's nearly vertical anyway, so this feels like a waste. Let me see what I get from backup mag. I'm going to get 8 bullets in the mag and boost my ammo capacity on my reserves by a little bit more as well. So it's a nice way to toy around with mods to see what they're going to do to affect things. Target Adjuster is going to add me some aim assist. If there's a gun you really like and you want to really figure out what specific perks are going to get me to the best position, toy around with all these things, click on them and see, and that way you know I'm looking for a Gnawing Hunger with these specific perks on it, and then I'm going to be good to go. These ones over here don't typically change stats too much, but you can still see which ones are going to be your options, and light.gg is going to help you with, like, see, I click on that one and it's red. The only way I can get that one to work is the curated. So that's one way to know if it's red. Might want to check why. So again, D2Gunsmith, very helpful for basically any weapon that you look at. Doesn't really matter which one at all. You pull up anything, I can go 21% Delirium. That's just a curated roll, but I can see what it does. But still, overall, very, very cool, very helpful website. Next one is going to be a pretty, like, low-key website, but it's just got a lot of helpful information for the week. So Nearest.tv. So a cool dude on Twitter. If you don't follow him, I'm going to put his link right next to this as well, so go follow him on Twitter. He'll post whatever his new graphic is. But what he does is put graphics out for typically weekly reset stuff, if we've got any major things going on. But weekly reset's a prime example. He's going to go through and build this image every week. He's probably got a template, but still, you can see what's the Nightfall ordeal, what are the modifiers, what is the unique drop that you can get from it, what are the Grandmaster Nightfall modifiers. You can see what the Legacy Nightfalls are, what the drops are from those, like Hollowed Lair. Everybody likes Mindbender's Ambition, even though it's going to be Sunset, so not as big of a deal. What are the Nightmare Hunts? What are the possible things we've got going on here? Heroic Menagerie, which boss are you facing? In the Reckoning, what guns can possibly drop? A lot of people gnawing Hunger and Doomsday, but gnawing Hunger, you can get the curated roll from the Likeness of Oryx, and you can see it's a Solar Cinch this week. Escalation Protocol, dropping the Ikelos SMG. Down here we've got raid challenges, so you can see Leviathan, Prestige, you can see we've got just whichever the modifiers are. You've got the challenge on the pools. You can see, you know, each challenge on the raid challenges, so you know if you go in, what the deal is. So overall, very helpful information that you can see here. If I come back up to the top, Zer's another one, for example. He'll do a Zer one. I do a video, but you guys can see if you can't quite get to the video, it's a nice way to check and see, you know, here's Telesto, here's the Catalyst, if you want that little bit of information. What armor? What's the stat roll? What's it do? All here in graphics. He does a great job. Just wanted to shout him out. Nearest.tv, really good stuff. Again, trials as well. What are the weapon drops? What are the possible rolls on the weapons? 3 wins, 5 wins, 7 wins, and flawless. You can see what is dropping where, so you know, is your trials grind worth it? How far do you need to go? What stuff you need to grind for this week. So Nearest.tv, helpful graphics, just kind of quick shot information coming from a very nice gentleman. We had him on the podcast as well. Just a good dude. Go support him if you can. This next one is vendorengrams.xyz. Typically more helpful as you are leveling up, I would say, but either way, what this is going to show is as you have tokens and materials as you level up, this can be beneficial to know what vendors are dropping at the highest possible, because they can drop like 2 or 3 levels below your max power level, or they can drop at your max power level. And if you're trying to, like, say I'm missing, like, my gauntlets are 6 power levels below my max on my Warlock, but everything else is almost there. Well, say I go to Devrim K, I've got a lot of the EDZ planetary material. If it shows here as dropping high, and I have enough to turn in, eventually, hopefully at some point, if I open enough packages from him, I get a pair of gauntlets from him, and if he's showing as dropping high, I'm going to get those to drop exactly at my power level. Really help leveling up as well, especially if you're trying to just fill holes that you just can't get a good drop on. So if you have a lot of planetary materials, this can be beneficial. If you don't, you've spent them all, you're a newer player, this one's not going to serve you as well. But if you do have a lot of materials or strike tokens, crucible tokens, things like that, this can be helpful to know when those vendors are dropping high level items that can benefit you as you level up. This one is called Ishtar Collective, and if you like lore, this is it. Outside of My Name is Bife and Myland Games for YouTube videos, which are good ones to listen to, almost like podcasts, take them with you on the go. If you want to just hit here and dive into a specific category for lore, it's all in here. So you can go categories, and you can pull up the Exo Stranger. She's coming back in Beyond Light. So what do we know about Exo Stranger? This is probably all stuff even from D1. We've got 5 Grimoire pieces around her. It's a little bit about her weapon and herself. We've got a couple transcripts about things, and a couple items that actually mention her as well. So anything related to this character is in here. You can also go by release. What do we have in Season of Arrivals? Well, we've got different emblems that'll have different things. You've got a piece of armor that's also going to have a piece of lore on it. So a lot of things in this game have lore. It's not the most obvious to everybody, but if you want to dive into lore, Ishtar Collective, just fantastic collection of information. You do some specific reading in here, little background, and then you go watch like a buy for Myland Games video. I mean, your lore, yeah, you can definitely get much deeper into this game if you want to when you understand the lore. So Ishtar Collective, very great collection of lore. Next one is Destiny Tracker. So this one is probably one you may not have heard of unless you've looked up specific things. But I can basically search myself and I can see stats about myself, what my power level is, how my KD is. This is basically a lot of stats about yourself. You got PvP. I'm mediocre in the PvP department. PvE, I'm not even going to claim to be fantastic there either. But you can see a lot of stats. And I can go in and see in Iron Banner, I'm top 27%. I'm okay. I can see my KD ratio. I can see my combat rating, which I don't know what all this stuff always does. I can see how many matches I've played. Mostly just because I've played for a while. I have exactly 1,000 wins in PvP. Apparently I should stop. It's not that many though. But I mean, deaths. I have the top 4.4% deaths. Also got time played. I'll show you guys later stuff about time played, but it's a good way to know a little bit more about going on, but you can see how's your performance. Like pick me. This one I haven't played that much PvP, so mine's a little funky in here. But you can also see like sessions of, you know, previous PvP sessions. Okay, who did I fight against? Who did I play against? What did I do? So sessions is going to be that. Matches are going to be PvP matches. I can come up here and I can, and this is one from, this is like a week ago since I played, but I can pull up a control match. I can see I won 2 matches, lost 2 matches. I can see this dude's a beast up here. He had 34 kills, but I can see what was my KD in here, what was my KDA. It's actually going to tell me all my stats, kills, deaths, assists, all the stuff I did. So it's a full, nice deep dive about your own stats. So if there's anything you're working on, trying to get better at, overall, very cool information about it. And then if you pull up other characters as well, so again, if I go to matches, I don't want to see that dude that looked like I played with, he was a beast. So let me go ahead and click on him. And I can show you guys that he is pretty much a beast in PvP, so it's not really a surprise. He's diamond level 2. And again, these are rankings that they've probably created, but as they kind of tier the player base, this is what they've kind of done. He's like top 0.2% of all players in Control. Whether it be kills, wins, anything like that, just absolutely crushes it. Iron Banner does well. You can see Survival, Trials of Osiris. This dude's a beast in PvP. So this is a good way to see what you got. You know, his deaths are top 0.1%. Also means he's played a lot as well. So he's got 2,000 hours played in PvP. You can see what his loadout is. Mountaintop, Sunshot, Tomorrow's Answer. Probably playing some PvP right now. 1081, you can see his light level. And you can even do cool stuff about here. You can come up to leaderboards. And you can even see, like, power level. These people are insane, by the way, because if you picture the fact that 1060 is your highest gear score, his artifact is at plus 54. I think these people are just trying to see how high they can get because they still have like 100 days left in the season. But overall, pretty cool website to look through. Interesting information in here. Definitely check it out and see if you find anything in here that's beneficial to you. But DestinyTracker.net, definitely a cool one to check out. The next one is Today in Destiny, and probably the most beneficial piece of this one is actually going to be the Eververse Weekly, and somehow, which I don't know how, they can actually farm somehow and know what is coming from Eververse each week. So currently we are on week, I believe it's, where is it? We are on week 8, so 728. Next week, it starts week 9, and we can see what he's gonna sell. And you can see silver item only this season. So we can see that this is a Wardcliff Coil ornament called Ahead of Its Time, but it's only going to be sold for silver this season, and that's it. Now, it may come up another time, or it may come up just once. So if you specifically want this ornament, it's only going to be sold for silver this season, this specific week. Same thing here. The Spring Showers is only going to be sold for 1,000 silver for this emote. But you can also see what's sold for dust. So, for example, the Xenophage ornament is going to be sold for 1,250 bright dust in week 9 only. That's it. It's the only time it's coming. I can look over here, the Warbeast skin for the Legend of Acreus. That one's over here. So if there are certain ornaments, exotic ornaments, emotes, anything of that nature that you're looking for, take this one, for example, the Micro Mini. This is a tiny Munchkin Sparrow. It's so small. And you can see it's going to be sold for silver in week 13. So you can actually see it right over here. But it's going to be sold in week 10 and week 12 for bright dust. It's going to be sold 2,500 bright dust or 800 silver. So you can actually get an idea. Is there something I'm looking forward to? Maybe I do want the Micro Mini Sparrow. Okay, do I have 2,500 bright dust or do I need to try and farm for it? All these things are beneficial if you're looking for specific cosmetics, and you can see when they're coming, what's coming, when it's going to be sold. So you've got the Trinity Ghoul ornament. It's going to be sold on week 11, just bright dust only. So again, look through this, see if there's anything you're looking for, try and plan ahead, see if you got the quantities for it, or maybe you'll realize you don't have the bright dust and try and find the silver for it. Overall, Today in Destiny, great for the Eververse weekly kind of breakdown, planning ahead, seeing when things are going to be sold and what you can look forward to buying. Okay, I know the video said top 10, but it's actually going to be top 11 in a couple of honorable mentions. This is Destiny Trials Report. This week it's going to tell you what map it is. You're going to see what the top weapons are currently being used. You can see like PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, where all your kills are going to be at. What's the top weapons? Well, you got Summoner and Nonghunger getting a lot of the kills. Revoker's your top Sparrow being used. Beloved number 2. Fellwinter's Lie, your only shotgun up here. Mountaintop still always out there. Suros, your first exotic, actually making it to the top list, Bastion and Arbalest. And all this is based on kills, so if you're looking for a loadout that other people are finding success out of, see if you can build one out of what other people are using. You can see how many matches have been played, how many total kills overall, how many players actually went flawless, and again, that could be the same player going multiple times, but how many kind of flawless lighthouse trips it seems, and then how many people are actually playing trials over the course of the weekend. You can also see the rewards over here, the Summoner, Tomorrow's Answer, Helmet, class item. So if you're into Trials, Destiny Trials Report, nice little place to look, and you can actually look and see what each week has had. You can look through and see what has changed so far, what weapons have been happening. It's nice to go back and look and see what has happened. So you go, Javelin Floor 4 was last week. This week is going to be the one we just got done looking at. So on Gnawing Hunger, Evoker, and Felwinter's Lie were much more popular there. Suros, Dire Promise, Summoner was a bit lower. So you can see how certain weapons play, if one pops up, what to expect, to kind of get a feel for some of the Trials maps. Just some cool stats here about Trials overall. Final few I'm going to do are quick honorable mentions just to give a quick shout out to them. The first one is going to be Charlemagne. It's a bot for Discord. So if you have a Discord server or you're part of a Discord server that doesn't have Charlemagne, make sure you get it. This one is called Time Wasted on Destiny or Wasted on Destiny. If you type in you and you search yourself, you're going to be able to figure out how many hours you spent playing the game. Short and sweet way to check. So I can see I've put 1,800 hours plus into my Steam account. I'm top 2%, actually surprised it's that high. And I can see how much I've played on each character and how much time I've spent in different activities. So overall, very cool thing just to get a bit of history about your own playtime. This is another one here where you can see the Destiny heat map to see how much you played on certain days. So in 2020, you can see in July that I played 2 hours here, 3 hours here, played for 7 hours that day. These, I think, were like farming stuff in my sleep, so don't give me too much of a hard time there. I didn't actually play that day, so just a quick historical heat map of when you've been playing and how much. Final one is going to be Destiny sets. This is going to be basically what armor you have collected. So take Season 11, for example. So the Prophecy Dungeon, I did my solo flawless, so I got everything there. I've done my Titan armor, I've got my Warlock armor, I need boots, and my Hunter I honestly have not done the dungeon on, so I have no armor collected from there yet. So if there's any armor, we don't know how Transmog will work, but if you're working on specific armor, we've got Moon, different destinations, bunch of different places you can get things from. You can see what of each set you have and haven't received yet. Like Garden of Salvation, I've got all my armor for my Titan, but I've got Squat for my other two classes. So if I'm going to go play on those characters, at least I know, you know, jump on my Hunter, see if I can work on collecting the set. I've got all the weapons, but I definitely don't have all the armor from a lot of different places, so I know if I'm trying to complete sets, I know which characters to spend some time on. And that's basically it. So there's a lot of information out there on the internet that will help you with this game. If you're playing on console, having a tablet, your phone, little laptop up next to you, anything can be helpful. That second screen is going to be beneficial. Destiny Item Manager for inventory management, tracking, light.gg to understand weapons, Gunsmith to really deep dive on a weapon, see what you might like. So many of them out there that are really beneficial. So if you find any of these helpful, definitely drop a like below. Leave a comment if you have other websites that you enjoy using that I missed, because definitely I would not claim to know them all. And also, if there's anything that I completely forgot, there's probably like some LFG sites that are good that I think I smooth forgot as well. But overall, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like below and share this with friends who may be newer to the game, that might be getting into the game, because they may need these websites to help their progress so they have some idea what's going on. And as you guys also know, you can always find me on Twitch and Twitter, Ebontis on both, be it streaming on Twitter, catching up with this game or other games, and then right here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed yet, we are climbing to 50K and not that far away, so definitely hit that sub button and that alert bell. Keep my videos coming to you, lots more information to come. So thank you all very much, have a good one, and I'll see you soon.